$350,000 Bitcoin. Senate hearing starting this week. We got it for you on today's episode. Thank you for jumping back on the channel, everybody. This channel is going to be focused on cryptocurrency and the new financial system. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. Let's first take a look at prices. Bitcoin back down again below 60,000. Ethereum below 2,400, currently sitting at 2,307. Solana sitting at 131, almost 132, and XRP sitting at 57 cents. So, same old with September. Very, very bearish. So, let's jump into the news and subjective views. If you're not following subjective views, give him a follow. He does some great stuff. So what's happening in this video is this gentleman from Archax is talking about stable coins. And he is the head of structuring at Stablecoin, or excuse me, at Archax, and his name, I believe, is Keith O'Callaghan. So he is, again, the head of structuring here. Subjective View says, which category do you think the RL USD falls under? And that is Ripple's stablecoin, the RL USD. The head of structuring at Archax and at Ripple Partner discusses two different types of stablecoins. So I'm going to play this video for you in a second, but just to set the stage on what a stablecoin is and kind of the different types of stablecoins. A stablecoin is a type of cryptocurrency essentially designed to maintain a stable value by being pegged to a reserve asset. Could be fiat currency, like the US dollar, could be a commodity like gold or a basket of goods. The main goal of a stablecoin is to minimize the price volatility, which is, often seen in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum and many others. So we're looking to minimize that price volatility. There's different types of stablecoins based on how they maintain their stability. As mentioned, fiat collateralized stablecoins. These are backed by traditional fiat currencies held in reserve, like the US dollar. For every stablecoin issued, there is an equivalent amount of that reserve asset. The second type of stablecoins is a crypto collateralized stablecoin. These are backed by other cryptocurrencies, but to account for the volatility of the underlying asset, they often over collateralize in that situation. And then three, there is algorithmic stablecoins. These rely on algorithms or smart contracts to manage the supply of stablecoin and maintain its price. They are not backed by any asset, but rather rely on a mechanism that expands or contracts the coin supply to stabilize its value. So we all know stablecoins are widely used in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. USDC, Tether, for example, for trading, remittances, and as a means to store value while avoiding the extreme volatility of other crypto assets. So let's listen to what the head of structuring here at Archax says about stablecoins. Take a listen.
That we're seeing two concepts in stablecoin. One being a stablecoin that has a particular, I would say,
Apologies. Let me get back to that. All right, let's try this again. My apologies.
that we're seeing two concepts in stablecoin. One being a stablecoin that has a particular, I would say, utility, and that utility could be sitting within essentially a private network of banks or institutions or brokers, and they're using this stablecoin for essentially immediate or what they call atomic settlement. And what that allows is essentially de-risking of the settlement period. Rather than in classic times, dealing on a T2, T3 basis, you're dealing now on not even a T0 basis, but an immediate settlement. So, and in that case, that stablecoin exists within a very small group of what you call whitelisted wallets and individuals. Then you've got another concept, which is the much broader stablecoin, which is essentially available to the whole world. It can exist on multiple protocols. It can exist in multiple jurisdictions, subject to the regulatory journey. And generally, in these smart contracts, you would implement what they call a sanctions list, which is essentially prohibiting bad actors utilizing this particular stablecoin. But it's much more focused on addressing some bigger and smaller issues, which is essentially trade finance, dealing with retailers, clearing, and all of this is essentially a new settlement layer. We use banks, we use cash, we potentially in time will use CBDCs, but stablecoins are just another route to enable the financial markets to operate in a much more effective way.
So, stablecoins are a more effective way, he's saying here. And Archax, so you know, I should have mentioned this prior to the video, is a regulated digital asset exchange and brokerage based in London. It was founded in 2018. Specializes in digital securities and cryptocurrencies. They target institutional investors with its secure trading platform. It became the first company in the UK to receive registration from the Financial Conduct Authority for crypto asset activities. So good stuff there from Subjective Views. Let's move on to Vandell from Black Swan Capitalists here. He says to predict the upcoming bull run and the alt season, follow the money and follow the central banks. He says, allow me to explain. Global central banks are entering a synchronized easing cycle. They are telling us what's coming. What does that mean? It means central banks will increase liquidity together. Why is this important? Because the key driver of the 4-year bull run cycle is global M2 liquidity. Liquidity is what drives the markets. Please understand this, Vandell says. Retail does not start the bull run. Central banks and whales start the bull run. Now, if you're wondering why liquidity increases and crypto prices do not rise immediately, this is because after the liquidity increases, there is a lag effect, which means it takes time for the money to move into the markets. When you compare historical bull runs with global M2 liquidity trends, the connection is clear and undeniable. The key is to get in early and have a plan. If you want to know more about the 4-year cycles and how they coincide with the elections, debt finance cycles, the business cycle, and the Bitcoin halving cycle, follow me and share this. And then he shows a graph there showing those components together. So good stuff as always there from Vandell. Certainly always appreciate his posts. Let's move on to another great account here, Smoke Dog, and he says XRP documented as an SDR based stablecoin. Now we just talked about several other types of stablecoins, right? And I didn't mention this one. This is, a new one that's coming. We mentioned fiat collateralized stablecoins, crypto collateralized stablecoins, algorithmic stablecoins, and now Smoke Dog brings us an SDR based stablecoin, which is special drawing rights stablecoin. So what is that? An SDR based stablecoin is a type of cryptocurrency whose value is pegged to special drawing rights, a reserve asset created by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. SDRs represent a basket of major international currencies, including the US dollar, the euro, the Chinese yuan, the Japanese yen, and the British pound. The value of the SDR is calculated based on the weighted average of these currencies. So it's not just one country, it's a basket of countries that it's based off of. So what are the key features of an SDR? A special drawing rights stable coin, excuse me. One, stability through diversification. Since the SDR is backed by multiple global currencies, an SDR-based stablecoin benefits from reduced volatility compared to stablecoins pegged to a single currency like the US dollar. So if one's up and one's down, you're taking an average here. Global reach is the second feature. The SDR is a recognized reserve asset used in international transactions and can appeal to a global user base, making the stablecoin more useful in international trade or cross-border payments. And a third feature is reduced reliance on any single economy. By tying its value to a basket of currencies, an SDR-based stablecoin is less affected by the economic conditions of any one country, thus providing a more balanced risk profile. So, Smoke Dog goes on to show here, what it says a national currency could thus be convertible into any other national currency in 2 steps via the stablecoin. This would resemble the cross-border payment system that Ripple currently operates with its XRP. So this stablecoin, this SDR stablecoin, could act as that converter, much like XRP does. He goes on to show that a stablecoin backed by a basket of deposits at different central banks, it's possible that such a stablecoin could be valuable for cross-border payments, serving a function similar to that offered in the private sector by Ripple. He says XRP leapfrogs slow and expensive correspondent banking. So again, this is about being efficient, but also about being fair. So good stuff there from Smoke Dog on SDR-based stablecoins. Now let's jump to Vivek here, has a post, and it comes from Jan Van Eck, who is commenting on the price of Bitcoin. So let's take a listen here, and do me a favor and let me know what you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be at the end of 2024.
So about a year ago, I started pounding the table because eventually the Fed is going to start easing here. That's great for gold and that's for Bitcoin. What I said is Bitcoin is growing up and will be eventually half the total market cap of gold. So that's about 350,000. So quite a ways to go from here. The super bulls, if central banks adopt it and it's part of the monetary system, then in the millions, but I don't like to talk about that too much.
What, more than 2 million? More than 3?
Yeah, like 2.9. We've got some model, which is, you have to look at the assumptions.
Right. Well, yeah, there are always big ifs there. Where are you as an ETF guy with all kinds of different ETFs, everything from fixed income to, who knows, staples, consumer cyclicals, et cetera.
Yeah.
Where do you put your personal money right now?
I like longer term trends because I feel like, okay, it'll be a bumpy ride, but I like to have conviction about something that's going to happen in 5 or 10 years. Mm-hmm. To me, there's no doubt that Bitcoin is becoming adopted the way gold is. I just think it's obvious. Now, I think you have to have your own diversified portfolio, and kind of having a huge overweight to Bitcoin is a personal decision, but I just see that rising. I'll give you another example, India. The Indian economy is the best macro story. Everyone says the stocks are overvalued. I get it, but it's doubtless the Indian equities have done as well as U.S. equities over the last 10 years and will continue to do well. But he was a gold bug.
So this guy believes, Jan Van Eck believes, who runs $90 billion Van Eck, says Bitcoin will hit 350,000 in the short term and 2.9 million by 2050. Obviously everybody has their own opinion.